So let's talk a little bit about what a box plot is, exactly what it's showing, and what it's useful for. We're going to use this example here of having collected a sample of 50 individuals and recording their heights. And over here I've already drawn in a box plot. So let's discuss exactly what info is being shown in this plot or this picture here. As noted in a number of these videos, this here shows the distribution for the variable height. Okay, and again, we'll talk about exactly what we mean by that as we go through and discuss this plot. It's also worth mentioning that this plot is a visual display of what gets called Tukey's 5-number summary. The minimum, the first quartile, median, third quartile, and maximum. So we'll show those where they are on the plot, as well as in separate videos talk about what is the first quartile and so on. So the first thing to note is that the tick in the box here is showing us the median. And in this example, the median looks like it's about 66 inches. So the median, which we formally define in a separate video, is the point that cuts the data set in half, 50% below, 50% above. So 50% of the individuals in our sample have a height of 66 inches or less, 50% 66 inches or more. The bottom of the box here shows what gets called the first quartile and abbreviated Q1. Q1, or the first quartile. Okay, and again, this is 25% or 1/4 below it. And in our example here, it looks like it's at about 63 inches. So again, 1/4, right, or 25% of individuals in our sample have a height of 63 inches or less, right, and 3/4 are greater than that. The top of the box here shows what gets called the third quartile, or abbreviated Q3. So let's write that here. This is the third quartile, and it looks like it's about 70 inches. Right. So again, in our sample, 75%, right, or 3/4 have a height of 70 inches or less. And let's write that here for completeness sake. 75% or 3/4 are below this value. And so the size of the box here gets abbreviated the IQR, or what's called the Interquartile Range. Okay, we talk a bit more about this in more detail in a separate video, but it's the third quartile minus the first quartile, or the range of the middle 50% of data, right? So what's the range of the 50% sitting in the middle, cutting off the bottom quarter and the top quarter? Now these lines here extend, right, and the line and where the tick is here is what's known as the minimum value excluding outliers. And the top up here, that is the maximum value excluding outliers. And any outliers get drawn in individually. And in a moment we'll get to talking about how do we decide what's defined as an outlier versus what's the maximum value that's not an outlier. So this plot here helps us visualize the distribution for the variable height. So I'm going to draw another version of it over here, slightly different exaggerated version, and I'm going to tip it on its side just so we can see exactly what I'm trying to say. So suppose we had the box plot looking like this. Again, here's the height, and the lower end of about 50, and the upper end of about 100. Okay. So again, I've taken this box plot and just tipped it on its side here. And when looking at this, we can see that it drags out to the right side or the positive side. Okay, so the distribution is a little bit skewed out to the right here. Okay, so again, it helps us visualize, is the distribution of heights roughly symmetric, as shown here, or is it a little bit more skewed, as I've shown in this exaggerated example here? So that's what I mean by helping us visualize the shape of the distribution. So in order to decide what's an outlier versus what's the maximum or minimum value that's not an outlier, what we can do is calculate what we call an upper fence as well as a lower fence. Anything within the fence is not considered an outlier. Anything beyond the fence is an outlier. Now all this stuff will be done using software. We won't generally do it by hand, but we're going to do the calculations here once by hand so we can get a better understanding of how is the plot produced. To define the upper fence, we'll look at that first. The way that's calculated is we go from Q3, or the third quartile, and we add on 1.5 times the interquartile range. So in our example, we saw the third quartile is 70. And if we add 1.5 IQRs, okay, the interquartile range is 70 minus the 63, or 7, right? The range between Q3 and Q1, or these quartiles, is 7. So if we take 70 plus 1.5 times 7, that gives us 80.5. Okay, so going here from 80.5, this is where the upper fence gets drawn in. Suppose we had values sitting here, here, and here. This is the largest value that's within the fence, okay, not an outlier. So the tick gets drawn in there. That's the maximum value excluding outliers. And then any outliers get drawn in as individual points. Creating the lower fence, again, is pretty similar. In order to do that, we go from Q1 minus 1.5 interquartile ranges. So again, we saw Q1, the first quartile is 63, and minus 1.5 times the interquartile range, which was 7, gives us a value of 52.5. So roughly right around here. And again, this is the lower fence. So the tick, okay, the bottom of the kind of whisker here, goes to what was the smallest value that is not considered an outlier or not outside the fence. So this would be the minimum value within the fence, and the kind of tick mark gets drawn there. Here we can see at the bottom there are no values sitting beyond the fence or as outliers. One final thing to mention before we wrap this up is that other definitions or other ways to define outliers exist. This is probably the most commonly used one, and this is what's used to produce the box plot. So we're mentioning that here. Again, you shouldn't focus on doing these calculations. You probably should never be asked to do these by hand, but it helps us understand how do we decide what's an outlier as well as what's the maximum value that's not considered an outlier when producing a box plot. It's also worth mentioning some closely related plots to the box plot are variable width box plots. So what those are is when we have multiple box plots, say heights of males versus heights of females. We might have side-by-side box plots, and the width of the box plot is proportional to the sample size. There's also notched box plots that often draw in a little notch at where the median is, as well as violin plots. Okay, those look sort of like this here. Right, we drew this nice smoothing. It does it on each side, okay, and tilts it. So rather than being the blocks, has sort of a violin shape that a combination of a box plot as well as a density plot in there. The box plot is the most commonly viewed ones, but you can explore those other ones on your own if you want to learn a little bit more.
Stick around, guys, because we got lots more. Hope you guys liked the video. Statistics is hard to say, Poopali.